Jun's favor, this is a deck that can definitely blow up Counterbalance.
Yes.
And it's got a very nice spread of mana cost, too. So even if it does stick, you don't necessarily care.
It's a Plains and Source Plowshares. Deathrite Shaman's got to leave. Moon will get a little bit of life off of that. Beta Plains?
There's Alpha or Beta.
Okay, thank you. Dark Confidant will put Rynkiewicz to the test. Does he have an answer for this? Picked up a copy of Flooded Strand. There's an island. Pass that turn back. Confidant will stay in play. Bloodbraid Elf is the reveal. Down to 17 goes Moon. Don't see a lot of punishing Jund in Legacy anymore.
But if you're anticipating a lot of Delver decks, a very reasonable choice.
Great place to be. Bloodstained Mire. Attack with Dark Confidant. Pass that turn back. Rynkiewicz will draw. Rest in peace is what he's found. Great card in this matchup. Shuts down Punishing Fire. Shuts down Tarmogoyf. Deathrite Shaman 2. Though it can't be killed by Abrupt Decay. Tarmogoyf is the reveal. Moon going to go down to 15. He'll get to draw another card, of course. Refilling that hand. Letting Dark Confidant get to work. There's a Verdant Catacombs. Going to sacrifice both fetch lands. Will Moon. Land 1 is a Bayou. Land at number 2. Might be a Taiga. We'll see.
And Punishing Jund is one of the Legacy decks that sort of just looks like a souped-up standard deck.
Yes.
It's just good, really good removal spells, really good threats. If you're familiar with Obzon, for example, Jund will probably make some sense to you.
It's weird to say this deck isn't really doing anything unfair, as there's a Red Elemental Blast off the Cascade, but it's just really good cards. Like, there's nothing particularly fair about Bloodbraid Elf or Dark Confidant. This is one heck of a Snapcaster Mage.
I mean, this was just brilliant sequencing here from James, and I also question just how much incentive does Frank have to fire off the Bloodbraid Elf there on his main phase? Depending on exactly how he sideboarded, it's not totally clear, but he does not have a lot of proactive things to find off of that.
And if that turn was bad, this turn could be even worse, because Rynkiewicz's draw this turn was Chase the Mind Sculptor. And he might be perfectly fine just tapping out and casting this, and it's hard to say no to that. From a game that was looking good for Frank Moon with his Dark Confidant and a little bit of extra card advantage to James Rynkiewicz is in the driver's seat now.
An unchecked Jace here is very challenging for this deck, and you see James, very savvy, immediately go up to 5 with the Jace. He respects Bloodbraid Elf, he respects Lightning Bolt, does not want to leave that thing at 3 loyalty.
And Fate Seals himself as well, wants to control his draw step, doesn't care very much about Frank's. Frank is going to organize some mana here. 4 mana. There's a Bloodbraid Elf. Did have the option of Maelstrom Pulse here, declined. See what he reveals to the Cascade. Tasker, it can't be you. Deathrite Shaman, you're okay. Those cards will get shuffled, of course, from Cascade. They'll go to the bottom of the deck. Bloodbraid Elf's going to come into the red zone here. I imagine it's going to go to Jason. It will, down to 2 counters. Pass that turn back. Let's see what Rynkiewicz will be drawing here. It's a Blood Moon. Was looking to lock him up.
Yep. I mean, Rest in Peace plus Blood Moon is basically saying just answer the board.
Yep.
And those 2 cards take care of the rest.
And given how James's mana look here, he's going to start by brainstorming.
I think in an ideal world, James would say stabilize the board first and then try to play these lock pieces. I don't know if he can stabilize the board. So he may have to do it the other way, where he Blood Moons and then Rest in Peace and then hopes to find answers on the follow-up.
Sacrifice a Flooded Strand after putting those 2 cards back. He's in a very favorable position right now as he searches up a land, so he'll go with the basic plains.
Well, if he can't answer the board, he's about to lose the Jace. I still think it's favorable for him, but there's still some hope for Frank.
There's Rest in Peace. That's going to resolve. And I actually like pulling the trigger on this and basically saying, yeah, I think I can beat what you have in play.
Well, James doesn't have any other choice. He had no way to answer the board. If he had a sweeper like Supreme Verdict, I'm sure you would have seen that cast first.
Sure.
But this is the best thing his hand allows him to do.
You see Frank does have the 1 swamp in play. The rest of those lands are just going to be mountains given the situation. So a card like Maelstrom Pulse can't be cast. A lot of options are shut off here for Moon. Thoughtseize, that's still on the table. That can be cast, and it looks like that's what he may be casting. So there is Thoughtseize. Rynkiewicz's hand has a Ponder, a Brainstorm, and a Scalding Tarn. You'll find Ponders in this particular deck. Only 1 copy, though. We've seen versions with 4, the Philip Schoeniger school of thought. It seems like every Miracles player kind of does things a little bit differently. Schoenegger likes 4 Ponders, Lisette likes none, and a bunch of creatures. James with just his 1.
And 1 Snapcaster Mage. You know, Reduke is definitely on the 0 creatures main deck. Some people play some number.
There's Sensei's Divining Top. Going to use that fetch land for red mana, given the Blood Moon that's in play. Entreat the Angels on top of the deck. This is going to get ugly in a second.
Yep. Sensei's Divine Top, they're a very solid draw for James. He's got some turns to set this all up, and Entreat just might be too much to overcome here if Frank is incapacitated and can't cast his spells.
Moon's going to untap. He'll take a draw. Attacking sounds good, right? What's wrong with attacking?
He's got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
He's got 1 forest in the deck.
And
if he draws the 1 forest, then maybe we got a game.
I like Rynkowicz's patience there. He could have certainly jumped at the opportunity to just destroy him in the attack step. But instead, you know, he says, I'll just take my 4 Angels. What do I need 2 for? 4's just fine.
The problem is if you make 2 Angels, it's possible Frank can beat that just with some random black removal spells.
Yeah.
2 Angels is only 2 threat cards.
4 Angels, I doubt it.
We're saying Maelstrom Pulse or bust at this point.
Yes. He does have the Pulse, but he'd have to peel the Forest. And he does not have it, and that is going to do it. James Rynkiewicz is going to win this game and match over Frank Moon. 2-1. Miracles will take care of punishing Jund. I feel like it's a pretty favorable matchup for Miracles, and that Snapcaster Mage into Swords Plowshares. Heck of a turn there for Rynkiewicz.
Yeah, it was so incredible, too, because James, he had the opportunity on turn 3 just to go Snapcaster, Swords, your Dark Confidant,